Hi everyone, it's Nadia from YARNutopia. Today we are going to be making this lovely hexagonal granny square cardigan. You can see here it's just fabulous, huge, like a big giant blanket that you can wear. It's so beautiful. Before we start, I do want to mention all the links that you need are in the description of this video. So the pattern, or the written pattern, my website, Facebook. Make sure to join my Facebook. Make sure to subscribe to my channel here on YouTube so you can get updates on when I make new videos. Also, before we start, I do want to thank our videographer and editor for doing this video with us, Fuad Azmat. So aka Daddy. So he's helping us do this video today. And to start out, I want to start out showing you the supplies that we need. So I'm using Cardigan Simply Soft yarn. You can use anything equivalent, but I did make this in Red Heart yarn previously, and I was kind of unhappy with how it just turned out so bulky. But this is the label for the Simply Soft yarn that we are using today. So Cardigan Simply Soft. It is a size medium 4-ply yarn, so if you want, something worsted weight, but I suggest something super soft because you will want to cuddle up in this later on. This is just a fabulous piece. This main color is called Pumpkin. If you want to make the same exact one as I'm making, this orange color is called Pumpkin. And then this outer color, the trim color, is called Bone. So you can use the two colors. The amount of yarn you're going to need, let's see here. I'm a size small medium person, and I used 6 skeins of orange or pumpkin and just less than 1 skein of bone. So if you're going to make yours bigger, I do show in the video how to make it bigger or smaller. So if you're going to make it smaller, then use less skeins, less than 6 skeins of yarn. If you're going to make it bigger, you obviously need more than 6 skeins. I used 6 full skeins. Like literally, I only had like a scrap or 2 left over. So yeah, just a few scraps. So you definitely are going to need 6 skeins if you're going to make this size of the pumpkin, and then 1 extra skein for the trim. So 7 skeins in total. And we are going to be using a K-sized hook today. That is 6.50 millimeters, so make sure you have that handy. You can use any size hook that you want. Like I said, I'm showing how to do this with measurements, so you can, figure it out using a different size hook with the measurements that I give throughout the video. So that is totally creator's choice, but if you want to follow along and make this exact one, you can use a K-sized hook. Obviously we need a scissors and a yarn needle as well to sew in our ends and cut our yarn, so make sure you have those handy as well. We also need to sew on the pockets using this too, and our button, which the button up there I found, I got online at the shop Would Be Fancy on Etsy. I'll put the link in the description of the video if you want to get buttons from there. Otherwise you can use any type of embellishment that you want. So that is all the information we need for this video. And like I said, throughout the video I do show how to do this with measurements, so you can make it however big or small you want it, with the arm length, with the length of the cardigan itself, with the size of the cardigan if you want it smaller or wider, and our hood size as well. I show how to make it longer or shorter. So this is a great project just off of measurements, but just follow along and we'll make this together. Alright, to start off we have to make a slip knot, so put the short end over the long end and fold that down, and then pull that through. Then you insert your hook in there and pull that tight, and we're ready to work. So first we have to chain up 4, so yarn over and pull through 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then make 2 double crochets in the 4th chain from the hook. So the loop that's on your hook never counts as anything, so count 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this very first chain here, we're going to make 2 double crochets. So yarn over, go into that chain, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. And then make another one, so yarn over, go in there, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and yarn over and pull through 2 more loops. Now we have to chain 2, so yarn over, pull through, and yarn over and pull through. We just chain 2, and now we're going to go back into the same chain that we've been working in with these 2 here. We're going to work 3 double crochets back in there. So yarn over, go into that chain, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So that's 1 double crochet, and we're going to make 3 in total. 2 and 3. Okay, and you can kind of see I'm kind of working more in a circular form here. Now we're going to chain 2, so yarn over, pull through, and yarn over and pull through. Okay, these chain 2 spaces right here are going to be our corners. Okay, so then we're going to put now 3 more double crochets into this middle circle here. So yarn over, go in there for a double crochet, yarn over, go in there for another double crochet, and 1 more double crochet. Alright, so this is very similar to making a granny square, except we're making a hexagon. So these groupings of 3 are our sides. Okay, so this is one side, then a corner, another side, then a corner, and another side. So now we're at the corner, so we're going to chain 2. Okay, so we have 3 sides, we're halfway done. We're going to go back into that circle for another 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. And I'm going to try and stretch this out like that so we can get into our circle in the middle. Okay, so that's 4 sides. We're going to chain 2, 1 and 2. Go back into that circle with 3 more double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And then chain 2, 1 and 2. And this is our last grouping here, so we're going to yarn over, go in with 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so you should have 6 in total. 6 groupings of 3 in total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then now we are going to attach the beginning here, but so instead of chaining 2, what I usually do, and if you've seen my granny square cardigan, you know to just chain 1 and then single crochet to the beginning chain 3. So if you count here, 1, 2, 3, right here, it might be a little difficult. There we go. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through both loops. That's a single crochet. It just gives us some height and it's easier to work with. Now this circle in this middle here is a big gaping hole. We're going to take the straggler and sew it around there. So I'm going to pull out this for a second and get my yarn needle. And I'll show you exactly how to do that. If you are familiar with the magic circle, you can start off with the magic circle. But for us beginners here, we're just going to go underneath the stitches in this circle. Okay, all the way around. And pull it tight, and you can see it is cinching closed. Just like that. Okay, so now it's all closed up, and we can cut just like that. Okay, now going on to round number 2, we'd want to turn our work every round. Okay, so I'm going to turn it. So now we're looking at the back side here, and you can tell when it's the back side by just looking at your stitches. It looks a little different on this side. And now we're going to be working in these chain 2 spaces, okay, in the corners. So chain up 3, yarn over, pull through 1, 2, and 3, and then put 2 double crochets in this first space here. In the very first where we just attached, we're going to put 2 double crochets in there. Why only 2? Because that chain up 3 counts as a stitch. Okay? Now we're not chaining anything, we're just going to go directly into this next corner. Okay, so this is a side, so we're going to just go directly into this next corner here for 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, now we're in the corner here, so we're going to chain 2, 1 and 2, and put 3 more double crochets right in there. 1, 2, and 3. Now we're on a side, so there's no chaining. We're just going to go directly into the next space, the next chain 2 space here, for 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And since this is a corner, we're going to chain 2 and put 3 more double crochets right into the same space. So essentially you're putting 6 double crochets in there with a chain 2 in between the 3. Okay, now we're on a side here, so we're just going to go into the next chain 2 space for 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets, all in the same space. 1, 2, and 3. There we go. And then going into the next corner here, just making our way all the way around, doing 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets in each corner. And then once you get a hang of this, it's really mindless. Okay, going into the last corner here, just put our 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets. Okay, now we're in the last corner here where we started off, so we have to still put, because there's only 3 double crochets, well, our chain up 3 and then 2 double crochets, which are essentially our 3 double crochets, and we have to put 3 in there. So put 3 double crochets in that first one. Okay, and now we want to attach, so chain 1, and then make a single crochet in the chain up 3. So go into the chain up 3, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. Now we're going to chain 3 to go on to round number 3, so yarn over and pull through 1, 2, and 3, and then turn your work. Remember to turn your work after every round. So this is what it looks like so far. So now our sides got a little bit longer, and there's these gapping spaces here. So now we're in the corner, we're in the first corner here. So now this is going to be our repeat round. What we're going to do is put 2 double crochets in this first space, this corner here. So just put 2 here because this chain up 3 counts as a stitch. And now on the side there is a hole here, a gaping hole that we're going to work into and put 3 double crochets in there. So 1, 2, and 3. Now you can see here that we've created a hole here for round 4. We're going to work in this hole, and we're going to create a hole here when we're going to go into this corner. So go into this corner for 3 double crochets, And now since we are in the corner, you know what to do. Chain 2 and put 3 more double crochets in there. Okay, now we have this side here, so there's a hole here, so we're going to work our 3 double crochets in there. Okay, now we're at the corner, so put 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets. Okay, now we're at the side again, so we're going to put 3 double crochets in that hole there, between the 3 double crochet groupings. Okay, and then now we're in the corner again, so 3 double crochets, chain 2 and 3 double crochets, all in the same corner space. Okay, now we're on the side here, so we're going to put 3 double crochets in there. And in the next corner, you know what to do, just 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. Okay, now we're on the side. We're just going to put the 3 double crochets right in that space. And the next corner, 3 double crochets, chain 2 and 3 double crochets. Alright, now last side, we're going to put our 3 double crochets right in that gap there. And now to the last corner here. So we have our first 3 double crochets from the beginning of this round, so we have to put 3 double crochets in here. And then always remember, when you're going to go to attach, we're just going to chain 1 single crochet to the chain up 3. Alright, and then chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and turn your work. This is what it looks like so far. Nice little hexagon there. So now, going on to round number 4. Again, we're just basically repeating round 3. So just put the 2 double crochets into the first corner space here. And now you see there's a gap here and a gap here. So these are going to increase every round. So next round there's going to be 3 gaps on the side. So make sure to count them and make sure that you have enough. And we're just going to put 3 double crochets in each one. So 3 double crochets in there and 3 double crochets in here. And then we're back to the next corner. So you know what to do in the corners. 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets. Okay. Now going to the next side, you can see I'm just turning my work and working in just circles here, putting our 3 double crochets into the space between the 3 double crochet groupings from the previous row. Okay, and then we're at the next corner here, so put 3 double crochets, chain 2, and then 3 double crochets. Okay, so chain 2 there, double crochet, you know how to do that. Just yarn over, go into that space, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and yarn over and pull through 2 loops. So those are double crochets. Then work your 3 double crochets into the spaces between the 3 double crochet groupings on the sides. So like I said, I mean, this is going to be mindless then once you get the hang of it. I'm already working so many of these that it's so easy now. There we go. Now I'm in the corner right now, so I'm going to have to still chain 2 and put 3 more double crochets in there. Okay, so just repeat this all the way around, and then I'll meet you up for round 5. Alright, so finishing round 4 here, we just want to then, this is a repeat, so we're just going to chain 1 and then single crochet to the first chain up 3 of this round. Single crochet. Okay, then turn our work and chain up 3. 1, 2, 3. So going on to round 5 is exactly how you did round 4. So putting the 2 double crochets in this first space here, and then just putting 3 double crochets in each of the gaps on the side, and then putting 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet in each corner. And when you come back to the end, put those 3 double crochets in that last corner, chain 1 and single crochet to the beginning, chain up 3. And we're just going to do this for the rest of this hexagon. Now, we have to make 2 hexagons, okay? And to make them how big you need them to be, make sure to measure your chest measurement and then divide that in half. And that is how long one side should be. Okay, so one side should be half of your chest measurement. Okay, so you can make this however small or large you want it. So just make this, one of these sides has to be half of your chest measurement. So I have one already made off camera. I'm just going to work on my second one. Like I said, you have to make 2 of these. So here's one. And for mine, one of my sides ended up being a little bit bigger, but it's about 20 inches wide. And I want mine to be a little bit more slouchy. So if you want yours to be a little bit more baggy, a little bit more slouchy, go a couple or, 4 to 5 extra rounds. Okay? This is really a versatile pattern. You can do as many rounds as you want. For mine, I am usually like a small medium person, so I did 20 rounds on this hexagon. So you can see here. And don't worry about it, bunching up and overlapping. It is supposed to do that. So you can see that it's not laying flat. It's not supposed to. So this is what mine looks like. Just one hexagon. It's 20 inches on one side. And make sure that you make 2 hexagons. And once I have my second one finished, we will fold them up and make our the rest of our cardigan. So just continue working in the rounds, very similar to a granny square, just 6 sides instead of 4. And then we'll fold it up like this, and this is one side, and then our other side is going to mirror this one, and then we'll make the rest of our cardigan. Alright, so I'm just finishing my round 20 of my second hexagon. So just make sure that you do the 3 double crochets in that last corner. And when you're closing your hexagon, I don't think I showed this to you before, when you're done, we've usually been chaining 1 and then single crocheting to the beginning, but since we're done with the hexagon, we're going to chain 2. So this is your very last round of your hexagon. Chain 2, 1 and 2, and then we're going to slip stitch. We're not single crocheting anymore because this is our very last round. We're going to slip stitch to that chain 3. Okay, so insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, and pull through, and pull tight. And then to fasten off, we want to fasten off with a long tail on both of your hexagons. A very long tail, because we're going to be sewing with it. So, I mean, I cut mine like super long, probably way too long, but you can just eyeball that. We're going to be sewing up the sleeves with it, and then just pull that all the way through, just like that, and then pull tight. So now that's done. So I've finished both of my hexagons, so you can see here, I'm going to move this out of the way. So this is one of them. And you want to make sure that the part where you fastened off, you're going to fold the points together. Okay? So you're going to fold it basically in half. So I'll show you how I did that. So your hexagon looks like this. You're going to take this point and fold them together. Okay? And then the other points will just match up, and it'll look like this. And you want these ends, this very end part where we just fastened off, we want that up on the top right and on the top left. So this is one side of our cardigan, and then this is the other side. So make sure that you make both of your hexagons. It'll take you a little while. Mine took me about 2, maybe 3 days, but I haven't been working on it continuously. So make sure you match up your corners to each corner, opposite corner, and then make sure that your fasten off corner is at the top sleeve. So like this. Okay, so this is how it's going to look. So you can see it already starts to look like a jacket, which is really cool. And like I said, you can make this however big or small you want it. Just make sure to measure your chest measurement and make sure that one of these sides is half. I know I repeated that a couple times before. So make sure that one of these sides is half of your chest measurement. So now we are going to sew up the sleeves, and then we are going to sew down the back. So let's do that. So take one hexagon, and this is when you need your yarn needle. This is a major point when a yarn needle is very helpful, and this is more time consuming than anything. We're just sewing back and forth. So yarn your needle. Okay. And now we're going to do a mattress stitch because it flattens everything. You could single crochet this together, but I did that before and I did not like it. So that's my personal preference. But if you know how to, you can just single crochet along on this side and then turn it inside out so that the ridge is on the inside. You know, it's really creator's choice. But to do a mattress stitch, make sure that you line up your stitches so that your chain 2 corners are together, and just go in one side, so from the inside to the outside, and then from the inside to the outside on this side. And just continue doing that all the way across this side. This is going to be the top side of the cardigan. This is the top of the sleeve. So we're just going back and forth from the inside out. And this is the top of the sleeve, like I said. So this will be all closed up. And you don't want to do the full length of this though. You want to stop. I'll show you where to stop in just a second here. Let me get a few more stitches in here so you can see I'm going from the inside out on this one, and then to the next one on this other side. So basically, like, you know, lacing a shoe, just going back and forth and obviously pulling tight. But then this will be invisible, it will be hidden, and it'll be flat, which I like that look better than the single crochet. But that's just, like I said, my personal opinion. Oops. So you can single crochet this, you could whip stitch this, you can, you know, if you have your own way to stitch this up. by all means do that. So just continue doing this all the way across, and you're going to stop. So once we, let me turn this here. So we're going to go all the way across here until we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these groupings left. So this corner one, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we're going to end it right here. Okay? So, and you're going to go through the both layers, and you're going to stop then right there. Okay? And then, because we need to have the front portion here, and then obviously the back and our head and our neck are going to fit over here. So make sure to stop there, and then I'll just meet you up when I'm about to fasten off and show you how to fasten off this portion, and then I'll let you be on your own to do the same thing to the other hexagon. Alright, so I'm just finishing up sewing this top of the sleeve here. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 groupings left. So I just have to do 2 more stitches here. Alright, and it doesn't matter if you end in the back or the front. So to fasten off, we are going to go back around, so it's front to back now, like this, so, or back to front depending on which way you ended. So I'm going to go through underneath here and underneath both of these, just like that. Okay, and I'm pulling this loop like this, and I'm going from this side and tying a knot, just like that. And you can tie, you know, 1 or 2 or 3 if you really want to make it secure. It's creator's choice on that. So I'm just going to do 2 little knots, just like that. Pull tight. Okay, and then to sew in the end, see, I cut way too much yarn, you can see, but sew in your end, just go underneath a few of the stitches, just to hide that. So this really is no, like, right or wrong way to do this, just sew in your end, really. And I like to go back and forth. Okay, stretch that out, just make sure it's secure and hidden, cut that, and there you go. So now you have one side done, so you can see this is the front, like that. This is the sleeve. So far, we'll be adding on to the sleeve to make it longer, but this is the top. See how nice and flat that looks? Looks great. And then this is our sleeve. So we're going to make our sleeve longer eventually, and we're also going to make the bottom portion of this longer too. But make sure to do that same thing to your other side. Just repeat exactly what I showed you for the sleeve, and once I finish this sleeve on this side, we will meet back up and go on to the next step, which is sewing down, or not, just kidding, we're going to be crocheting the length of this first. So just sew this one closed, and I'll meet you up to do the next step. Alright, so I just finished sewing this top sleeve now, so you can see that that's all flat and closed at the top there, and this one is also, we did that one together. So now this is what your cardigan should look like so far. And if you like it this length and you know you want it just like this, you can just sew up the back like with a mattress stitch, just like how we did the sleeves, and you can be done. But I want it to be longer, and I want the sleeves to be longer. So what we're going to do is set one of these aside real quick. Okay, and we're going to now turn this so we're looking at the bottom of this front piece. So your sleeve is closed up here. So we're going to work around this edge right here. Okay, this edge, we're going to make it longer. Okay, so what I like to do is just turn it upside down and open this up and work along this edge. So get your yarn, oops, and your hook, just like this. And we're going to start in this corner here. What I like to do is make a slip knot, so you know how to make a slip knot. Put the short end over the long end, fold that down, and pull that through. Okay, I just like to start with a slip knot. You don't have to start with a slip knot, you can just attach. But attach in this corner here. And now we're going to be working in rows. So we're not turning anywhere, we're just working in rows. So go right into that corner, and we're going to make a slip stitch to attach. So yarn over, pull through, and pull through. So now we're in there, attached. And now we want to chain up 3, which is going to count as our first double crochet. So yarn over, pull through, 1, 2, and 3. And now put 2 more double crochets into that same space. 1 and 2. Okay, now we're going to just do granny stitches all the way across. So go right into this next one here for 3 double crochets. Okay, and moving just across this piece, 3 double crochets into each space. Exactly how we've been doing with the whole hexagon, but now we're just working along this edge. Okay, so we're going to be working in rows. So I will meet you up when I get to the next corner, and I'll show you how to, turn and go up to the next row. And this portion is your own creative part as well. You can make this however long or short you want it to be. So I'll just meet you up though when I get to the next corner, and I'll show you how to turn and go on to the next row, and then I'll leave you be to make it as long as you want. Alright, you just want to put the 3 double crochet in the last corner here. Okay, so normally we would put 3 double crochet and then chain 2, 3 double crochet and turn and work up here, but we're not doing that. We're just working in rows now. So just put your 3 double crochet in this corner here, and then we're going to chain up 3, so 1, 2, and 3, and turn our work, and that's going to count as a stitch, okay? And now in this space here, so we're going to skip these 3 double crochets here and work right into this space for 3 double crochets. Okay, so now there's a space we just made here, which on the next row we'll work in there for 3 double crochets. So it's going to be an opposite kind of thing every other row. So now this row, we're just doing the same thing now that we chained up 3. We're just going to be working across just like we would, putting 3 double crochets into these spaces between the 3 double crochet groupings from the previous row. So that's all we'll be doing, and then I'll meet you up at the end of this row to get you onto the next row, and it's basically just repeating the first row that we just did. So it's very simple at this point, because you know how to do double crochets, I'm sure by now, after all those rounds we were doing on the hexagon. So I'll just meet you up at the end of this row, and we'll go from there. Alright, so we're coming up to the end here, so just put the 3 double crochets in here, but now you see that this looks weird because there's this grouping here. Like we did on this end here, where we chained up 3 here. So we're going to put a double crochet into this chain up 3 here. Okay, so just yarn over, go into that chain up 3, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, now so that row 2 is a repeat row, and now this next row is just repeating row 1. So chain up 3, and that's going to count as our first stitch. Turn our work, and just put 2 double crochets into here, into this first space. Alright, and on this row, now we're going to end with 3 double crochets into this space here. So you're going to put 3 double crochets in there to go on to the next row. So just go all the way across now, working just like this. And that's basically it. So just work then 3 double crochets at the end there, and then chain up 3, and then repeat row 2 basically. So repeat rows 1 and 2 of this bottom portion for however long you want to make this piece. Just remember to keep track of your rows, however many you are making, so that you can do the same thing for the other hexagon, the other side. And I'll meet you up when we start to do that as well. So just make this however long you want it to be. I think I'm going to go about 20 rows or so. I'll let you know when I get to being satisfied with how long mine is, and then I'll come back and I'll show you how to do the other one. It's basically the same thing, so you can go ahead and finish this part, and then after this part, after we make it the length that we want it to be, we can sew up the back and attach the 2 sides. So that's exciting. So I'll just meet you up when I finish this portion. Alright, so I did 20 rows and ended with this row right here. If you end on a row like this where there's 3 groupings at the end, that's okay too, however long you want yours to be. I ended up doing 20 rows, and mine's pretty long. I tried it on, or this half on, and it comes down to my knee. So I think that's a pretty good size. To fasten off, you want to fasten off one side with a long tail, because we'll use that to sew up the back. So just yarn over and pull it all the way through, and however long you need it to be to sew up the back, which, oops, I usually do very long so that I have extra. That's long enough. And then just pull it all the way through and pull that tight. Okay, the other side you don't have to cut a long strand because you won't be using that for sewing at all. So just one side you need to do that. So now this is what it looks like. So it's super long, like that. And don't worry about this edge, because one side is the back and it's going to be sewn, and then the other side we're going to crochet around that with our other color. So also sew in your ends. I'll show you how to do that. So just yarn my needle. Okay, and just go into a few stitches and back. Okay, stretch it out, and then cut. Okay, so there we go. And I think I cut this way too long, but I'd rather have it longer than not long enough and then having to sew it differently. So this is what I'm going to use to sew up the back. But I'm going to crochet, so okay, if you have to rewind this, just rewind this and do the same exact thing for the bottom half to the other side now, because now we have this side like this. So now just do this portion on this side as well. So I'm going to do that off camera, and I'll meet you up when we will sew the back together. Alright, so I'm just finishing up this one now, the length part. And like I said earlier, you don't have to have a long strand to fasten off for this one because we cut the long strand on the other one. So now we can sew them together. So make sure you have your first one that you made, and make sure that the straggler, the long strand that we cut, is toward the back. So in the back there. And then fold this one up, and that's going to be on that side. Okay, now you want to kind of open it up like this and kind of put the two right sides together like that, and yarn a needle if I have one. Okay, and just mattress stitch all the way up this piece. Let's see here. Okay, so just mattress stitch. Now, since these stitches on these 20 rows down here are kind of just a little mixed up, just make sure they line up with the other side. So these whole parts line up. And just go back and forth. You could whip stitch this, you could single crochet it, you could, you know, do however you want to stitch this up, but just stitch up the back. I'm just going to do it just exactly how I did for the sleeves. Hopefully my yarn doesn't tangle on me so much. There we go. So just going back and forth, you know, wherever it fits really on this portion, and then luckily, like when you can get up to this point right here, you can easily go into the stitches back and forth. So that's nice. But this part, this bottom part here, kind of just fit it where your hook will, or your needle will fit, and just go up to the top. And you want to go all the way up to the very top, and then once we get to the top, I will show you how to fasten off, but it's, like I said, it's very similar to how we did the sleeves. And then we will go on to making the sleeves longer, and then we're going to make a hood, and then after that we're going to make some pockets, and after that we're going to put a border on this. Now border is optional, but I'll show you how to do it anyway. So just sew this up and we'll go on to the next step together. Okay, so now I just finished mattress stitching all the way around, and then like I showed you earlier how to fasten off, we're just going to go around once, loop that, go under there, and pull tight, and then do that, you know, twice or 3 times. There we go. And then just sew in this end. Wherever you want, I guess. I just like to go back and forth a few times, stretch it out, and cut that. There we go. So now that's all sewn up. And the reason I like to do the mattress stitch, like I said earlier, is just flat. It just keeps it nice and flat. So now we can look at the other side. This is the outside of it. And that's what it looks like there. Okay. So now we are going to lengthen the sleeves, and then we'll make the hood, and then we'll do the outline. Okay, so what you want to do is grab a sleeve, so whichever one you want to do. They're both exactly the same. And we are going to go from the armpit, so fold this like this. This is the armpit right here, and we are going to work starting right here. Okay, so right under the armpit, wherever there is the space, that's where we're going to start to work. And so grab your hook and yarn, make a slip knot if you need to. Alright, insert your hook there. Okay, so this is the underside of the arm. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull through and through, so we're attached. Chain up 3, 1, 2, and 3, and make 2 more double crochets into that same space, because that chain up 3 is going to count as our first double crochet. So we need a total of 3, so you only need to put 2 double crochet in there, because this counts as a stitch. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then just work all the way around, making 3 double crochets into each stitch. So easy. Or not into each stitch, I'm sorry, into each space. Sorry, not into each stitch. So just make your granny stitches all the way around the sleeve, and you know what though, I'll have to show you how to get past that sewed up area. So we're almost there, I think. So just continue watching. I'll try to go really fast here. Just putting 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, almost there. So here, we're gonna put 3 double crochets here. Okay, now this is where the sewed part up is. So this is a corner from, or supposed to be a corner, and this is supposed to be a corner. So we're going to put 3 double crochets here, skip over the sewed area, and put 3 double crochets in there. Okay, it's that easy. So 3 double crochets here. So then we add a space because we're not going to crochet into anything here, and then just go directly into this one right here. So then on the next round, we'll work into this space here, where we just created that space. Okay, so just crochet all the way around. I'll show you how to go on to the next round once I finish this one. Alright, so I just came back around here, and now we just want to slip stitch to the chain up 3 here. So count 1, 2, 3, and then insert your hook right in there, yarn over, pull through, and pull through for a slip stitch. And now, going on to the next round, we're going to work into this space right here. So chain up 3, which will count as our first double crochet. So 1, 2, whoopsie, 1, 2, and 3, there we go. And then put 2 more double crochet in here for a total of 3 basically, because our chain up 3 counts as a stitch. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we just put 2 double crochet in there, and then just work like our last round, just putting 3 double crochets into each space between the 3 double crochet groupings all the way around. Then just attach like I just showed you, and then go on to the next round. And you can make your sleeves as long or as short as you want them to be. So that, again, creator's choice. So, you know, get creative with it if you want them like super, super long, or if you want them, you know, shorter. Or if you didn't even want to lengthen them, you don't even have to do this part at all. So, I'll do my rounds, and at the end I'll tell you how many I did for my size, and because I'm doing like small medium size, and then we have to do the same exact thing for the other sleeve. So I'll just let you do your thing, and I'll be back to tell you how many rows I did, and then I'll do my other sleeve. Alright, so I just am finishing this last round of the sleeve on one side. I ended up doing 15 rounds for my arms. That was long enough. So just doing a slip stitch here, just like that. And then to fasten off, we just chain up 1 and cut the yarn and pull that through and pull tight. Okay, so that's secure. So now this is what the sleeve looks like. I only did the 15 rounds because I am going to outline this in a light tan color, or a different color, so I'm going to do 2 more rounds, so whatever 2 rounds is about 1 inch, so it's going to be a little bit longer. So if you want to, you know, do an outer edge, different color to make it, you know, more fashionable, I guess, that's totally up to you. So this is how long my sleeve is right now, and now I'm just going to go do the other side because this sleeve is really short. So I'm going to go do this sleeve off camera, and then we will come back together and do the hood, the pockets, and the outer edge, and then we'll be done. Alright, so I just finished this other sleeve, and the sleeves are done now. Like I said, I did 15 rounds around the sleeves, so you can see where so this is our seam right here from where we sewed it closed, and then you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I did 15 rounds on both of them, so now the arms are even. Now we can make the hood. So if you're looking at your cardigan like this is the opening, the front. We need to work from this corner all the way around to this corner here. So we're just doing right around there. So let's get our hook and yarn, make a slip knot. So put the short end over the long end, fold that down and pull that through if that's how you like to start, and get a comfortable position here. So we're starting at this corner here from the front corner, and we're just going to basically do it just like how we did before when we lengthened one of these sides. So we're just going to insert our hook into this corner, whoops, with the yarn on your needle, or your hook, sorry. There we go. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, and pull through. Now chain up 3, 1, 2, 3. That's going to count as our first stitch, like it has been throughout this whole project. And now just put 2 double crochets into that same space, that same corner. Okay, now just work all the way across, working 3 double crochets into each space between the 3 double crochet groupings from the previous row. And once you get to here, I'm actually almost there, so you can just continue watching. I'll kind of go a little faster. So just put your 3 double crochets into each space. Okay, so right here, now we're at this point here where we sewed this closed. So now you see this space here, okay, and this space here. So, and this is our seam. Okay, we are going to work 3 double crochets in here. And it may be a little hard to see because there's a grouping right here, so you want to be able to get into the space here. So put 3 double crochets here, then hop over this seam and go right into this next space here. So we're basically just hopping right over that seam and going into the spaces. Just like that, and then we just created a space right there. Okay, and now just do this all the way across. Just do the same exact thing to the other side when you hit the other shoulder. And then at the end of this row, I'll show you how to go on to the next row. We're just going to be making rows for the hood, back and forth rows. And then we are going to fold it in half and make our hood that way. So I will just meet you at the end of this row and show you how to go on to row 2, and then you just repeat. Oh, here's another part I should show you actually. So we're in the back seam here. So I just did this grouping here, and then the back seam is right there, and then there should be 3 more in this corner piece right here. These were the 2 corners that we sewed together for the middle back. This is the middle back. Okay, so there's that. So just, you know, crochet the 3 double crochets into each space, and I'll meet you up then when I go to row 2 of the hood, and then you basically are just repeating rows 1 and 2 for the hood until it gets to be how long you need it to be. Alright, so I'm just finishing this last part here, just putting 3 double crochets in the corner. Okay, now to go on to the next row, so this is what we have so far. Okay, so now we gotta go to the next row. We're just gonna chain up 3, 1, 2, 3, and basically just repeat the rows that we did. I'm turning my work here. We're going to repeat the rows that we did for when we lengthened the length of our cardigan, the front of it, so, or the body part of it, I guess. So put 3 double crochets in there, and put 3 double crochets in each one across, and then we'll put a double crochet into the last stitch of the 3 double crochet grouping, which I will show you, and then we will go on to row number 3. Alright, so I'm just coming up at the end of this second row here. So put 3 double crochets in here, and then like I said earlier, there's going to be that last grouping of 3 here. We're going to put a double crochet into this chain up 3, or this last stitch of this row. So just put 1 double crochet in there. Okay, so basically just made a space right there. So now chain up 3, that's going to count as our first stitch for row 3. Turn your work, and now we're working into this space here, but only putting 2 double crochets because that chain up 3 counts as a stitch, and then just work your 3 double crochets all the way across in each space. So yeah, like basically just repeating the, like how we lengthened the bottom part of this, so the bottom half of this. So just do this portion, do enough rows that measures for an adult person 15 inches. That's how high I need mine to be for a small medium person, adult. You can measure, if you need to measure how long you need yours to be, measure the crown of your head to the top of your shoulder. And that is how long this portion needs to be for your cardigan. So again, this is creator's choice, however long you want your hood to be or how loose you want your hood to be. The top of the crown of my head down to my shoulder is approximately 15 inches. So just make sure that you measure, and I'll let you know how many rows I do then that measures 15 inches for me. Alright, so I just am finishing the hood area. So I did all these rows, and it measures about, where am I, right here, 14 inches, but approximately 15 inches. So that's good. So I'm going to fasten off. And to fasten off, like I've showed you before, just chain 1. And you want to cut a long strand because we're going to use this to sew the hood closed. So pull that all the way through, pull that tight. Okay. Now make sure that your cardigan is the right side, right way. And then fold this in half, your hood in half, like this. Okay. So I'm looking at it from the back here. Let me get this situated. There we go. Whoops. It's so big. There we go. Alright. So our hood, we're folding it in half. So now this is the front, and this is where our head is going to be, right here. That's the body of it. So I'm going to close the top, and make sure you have your yarn needle, and just sew it with mattress stitch, just like we've done with the other pieces. So go into that chain up 3 right there. Okay, so go back and forth, weave it in and out of the stitches from the inside out, similar to shoelace style. This is the mattress stitch. So just continue working that all the way to the back of the hood, and then I'll show you how to fasten that off. Then all we have to do is the trim and the pockets, and we are finished. Alright, so I'm just finishing this hood up and just fastening this off here. And I showed you how to do that before when we fastened off. So I'm just going to do a quick fasten off and then sew in this end real quick. There we go. Oops. There we go. Okay, so just sew it underneath a few stitches and then stretch it out. Make sure that it is hidden and secure. Okay. There we go. Alright, so there's our hood. You can stretch that out. So this is what it looks like so far. Oh my goodness, we did so much work on this already. Okay, now there's our hood. You can see that? There we go. So now we need to put pockets on, and then we'll do the trim. I wanted to do the trim, but then I was like, we should probably get pockets on this thing. So, pockets. We are going to make little granny squares and put them right where we joined these new rows. We're going to put them right over that, like smack dab. So granny squares are super easy. It's very similar to how we did the hexagon. So grab your yarn, make a slip knot, short end over the long end, fold that down, pull that through, and I don't want my tail to be that long. There we go. Okay, now we're going to chain 4, so yarn over, pull through 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then in the 4th chain from the hook we're going to put 2 double crochets. So yarn over, go into that 4th chain. If you have to count, the loop that's on your hook doesn't count it as anything. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, go into there for 2 double crochets. Okay, then chain 2, 1 and 2, and then put 3 double crochets back into there. So 1, 2, and 3, and then chain 2, 1 and 2, and you can see I'm kind of turning this because we're going to still work in that middle circle there. Put 3 more double crochets in there. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, chain 2, 1 and 2. This is the last grouping of 3 we're going to do, so yarn over, go into that circle there, in that middle, for 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Then we're going to go and close this, so chain 1 only, and I like to just single crochet to the chain up 3 here, so 1, 2, 3, go right into that, whoopsie, 1, 2, 3, there we go. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. That's a single crochet. Now chain up 3, 1, 2, and 3, turn your work. Okay, so now we're looking at it like this. You can see the 4 corners here. We're going to work into those corners. So put 2 double crochets into this one. Since we just chained up 3, that counts as our first double crochet. So just make 2 double crochet in there. just like that. Now going into the very next corner here, we're going to put 3 double crochet, chain 2, and then 3 double crochet, just like how we did on the hexagon in the corners. You know, you do the 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. Very similar to that. So every corner we're at, we're doing that. Then going into the very next corner, we're doing 3 double crochet, then chain 2, and then 3 double crochet. And the next corner, 3 double crochet, chain 2, and 3 double crochet. Okay, now we're coming up on the last corner here, which already has our first 3 double crochets in there, which includes that chain up 3. So we're just going to put 3 double crochets in there. 1, 2, and 3. And now to go on to the next round, we're going to chain 1 and then single crochet to that chain up 3. So just insert your hook right in there, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Chain up 3, 1, 2, 3, turn your work. So now we're looking at it like this. Going on to round 3, we're going to do the 2 double crochet in this first corner here where we just chained up, because our chain up 3 counts as a stitch, then we need 2 double crochet. Now there's a space here where we created from the previous row, so we're going to put 3 double crochets in there. Just like that. Now we're at the next corner, so you know what to do. 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets, all in the same corner. Alright, now we're on the side, and there's that space that we created, so we are going to put 3 double crochets in there. Now we're at the next corner here, so we're going to put the 3 double crochets, chain 2, and then 3 more double crochets, all in this same corner here. Okay, then we're on the side. Putting 3 double crochets in there, and the corner. And I'm running out of yarn, so I'm going to go grab some more yarn and we'll continue to work around this square. Alright, so I just grabbed some more yarn and I just attached it, so we just finished that corner. So now we're on the side here, so I'm just going to crochet over the stragglers. So put your 3 double crochets in on the side space there, and then the last corner, just do the 3 double crochets, and then we're only going to chain 1, and then single crochet to the chain up 3 of this round. Okay, and then chain up 3, 1, 2, 3, turn your work. Okay, so now it looks like this. And just repeat row 3, or round 3, except now we have 2 spaces on the sides. So work 3 double crochets into each one of those spaces. Okay, and then the corners have 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. So just work that all the way around. After this round, this is round 4, we are going to fasten off and we're going to change our color. If you do not want to change your color, just continue working 2 more rounds so you'll have 6 rounds in total, and then we will fasten off. But I'll show you how to change color because I want the outside of my pockets to be the trim color for my cardigan. So I'll show you how to do that as soon as I finish this round. Alright, so I'm just finishing up this part, this corner here, Now to fasten off, well, I'm going to change color, but I'm going to fasten off anyways because I'm changing the color. If you want to continue, just remember chain 1, single crochet to this chain up 3, and then chain up 3 and turn your work, and just repeat row 3 or row 4. To fasten off though, we're going to chain 2 and then slip stitch to the chain up 3. Okay, so insert your hook into that chain up 3, yarn over, pull through, and pull through. Pull tight, yarn over, pull up 1 to chain 1 to fasten off, and then I cut my yarn and pull that through and pull tight. Okay, so that is a 4-row granny square. That's what it looks like. So now I'm going to change my color and make 2 rows of it around it in this color. This color is called Bone. So it's like a light tan color. So make your slip knot if you want to, if you decide that. And we are going to attach it into this corner, okay, by inserting our hook, yarn over, pull through and through. So now we're attached, and now we're going to chain up 3, 1, 2, 3, which counts as our first double crochet. So we're going to put 2 double crochets into this corner, okay, and then just repeat row 3 or row 4, just putting 3 double crochets into each space on the side, and then putting 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet in the corners. And we're going to do this for 2 rounds on this piece, and we're going to fasten off with a long tail so that we can sew this to our cardigan. So I'll show you once I finish this one, how to sew it onto our cardigan, and I will need you to make 2 pockets because we're going to put 1 on each side of the cardigan. So just finish this one and then make another one with 6 rounds, okay, and then I will meet you up and we'll sew on these pockets to our cardigan together. Alright, so I'm just coming up on the last corner here just to show you how to fasten off this pocket. We're going to just chain 2 and then slip stitch to the first chain up 3. And then to fasten off, we want to chain 1 and cut it a long strand of yarn because we're going to be sewing this pocket to our cardigan. Okay, so, and then we're just going to sew in our ends, but I'll do that off camera. So now I have both of my pockets done, so make sure that you rewind this and make 2 pockets. So I have 2 of them done. And now we're going to put our cardigan out. And like I said earlier, we're going to put our pocket right, you want it to be straight, first of all. And second of all, so let's straighten our jacket here. Okay, now you see this line, see this is where the corner is, and this is where we attached our line, our yarn, and this is where we made the rows. So we want this to be the middle of where the pocket is. So put your pocket down right there, so it kind of covers that line basically. Okay, so that's where we want it. You want the straggler, where we cut off that long strand, you want it to be up on either this side or this side. Okay, because we're going to just go around this side, and this side. And we'll leave this open, obviously, because we want to put our hand in the pocket. So just yarn your needle. Okay, and make sure you can put your hand under here so that you don't go through both layers, because I would hate for that to happen. And you basically just need to go in and out, just weave it in and out of the stitches and the top layer of the jacket. just like this. And just do this side, the bottom side, and this side. And you want to make sure that it is straight. So make sure that it's not weird and wonky. Okay. And just sew that on, and then I'm just going to sew this one on and sew the other one on. I'll show you how to fasten off, and then we will make the trim edge. Alright, so I'm just finishing up this pocket here, and I'll show you how to fasten off. So you want to go into the cardigan, okay, into this side, and then loop it around a few stitches, and tie your knot. And do that, you know, a couple of times, you know, or a few times if you want, just to secure it. Okay, and then go back out like this. Okay, so you're all the way back out, and then just sew it into some of the stitches along the side of the pocket, just to hide that straggler. Okay, and then cut that, stretch it out, and there you have your pocket. And I already sewed this one on off camera, so we have our pockets done. So also, you know what, make sure that they are even. I ended up having to count how many rows up from the bottom line was, so that they are even across on both sides. So they are, so I counted. And then also a few like how far on the inside here as well. So just make sure you measure and make sure they're aligned. You don't want one pocket way up here and another pocket way down here, you know. So that's that. Let's make our trim now so we can be finished. So starting at the bottom corner here, right in this bottom corner on this side, we are going to attach our trim color. You can have the same exact color as your main color, or you can have a different color. It's totally creator's choice. And since we are in a corner here, make your slip knot and then attach your yarn by doing that. And then chain up 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's going to be our first double crochet. So make 2 more double crochet in there. 1 and 2. Okay. Now, since we're working along this edge, we're going to skip over these 3 double crochet groupings and go right into these spaces. Okay, so make 3 double crochets into those spaces. So 1, 2, 3, then skip over this one, go to this one, and make 3 double crochets. Okay, and skip and go over that, and 3 more double crochets. So we're basically doing granny stitches along the edging here. Well, if I can get this done, there we go. Okay, so skip over those 3 double crochet groupings, go into these spaces for 3 double crochets. And then once we get to, let's see, I think I did 20 rows of this, so we're halfway there. I'll show you when we get to the other types of stitches, because they are going to be turned then. I'll show you what I mean. Once we get there, there are 3 more stitches there, or 3 more groupings here. Okay, so I'm just skipping over those, putting 3 double crochets. So here, this is where our stitches change. See how these ones are kind of looking like horizontal and these ones look like vertical? We are just going to go right into this space here. Okay, so this used to be a corner of our hexagon. And now we're working in these spaces. So you can just work exactly how you would. Just work along this edge. And now this is our side of our hexagon that we were working on at the very beginning of this project. So now this is going to be very easy, just working 3 double crochets into the spaces between the 3 double crochet groupings all the way up, and then I'll meet you up when we get to the hood so I can show you how to do the hood part as well. And then I'll leave you be on your own, and we're going to do 2 rounds of this around the whole edging of this piece. So I'll meet you up when I get up to the hood. Alright, so I've come up to the hood part now. So you can see here, I'm just going to make these 3 double crochets in here. So now these look like vertical, and now these are starting to look horizontal. Okay, so we're going to skip over these groupings here and go into these chain up 3 spaces with 3 double crochets. So skip this and go in here for 3 double crochets. Okay, we're still working with 3 double crochets, but the stitches on this portion look a little different. So I just want you to look at that and know that you're not doing anything wrong, but just work your granny stitches like you regularly would. So then on the opposite side of this hood will be basically working opposite of what we did up the side of this side of the cardigan. So it's very simple. But you know what? Once we get to the seam here, I do want to show you how to get past that. It's very similar to how we got past the seam on the arms. So let me show you that real quick. Here we are. So this is the seam of the hood on the top part. So work 3 double crochets on this side of the seam, jump over the seam, and work 3 double crochets on this side of it. Just like that. So simple. And then just work down the other side of the hood. So it's that easy. So just work your granny stitches all the way around. I'll show you how to turn corner at the bottom of this next side, and then you'll just have to work along the bottom edge of the cardigan, and then we'll go on to round 2. Okay, when you come to the bottom corner, we're going to do the 3 double crochets, chain 2, and then 3 double crochets. So just like how we've been doing, but this is our first corner. There's only 2 corners, this corner and the first corner. So now I'm on the bottom edge. I just did the along this side, which was opposite of this side, the first side that we did. So now I'm just going along the bottom edge, just working it, 3 double crochets in each space. And then I'll meet you up to show you how to go on to round number 2 and let you be to finish the rest of this edging. And then we're going to do the edging around the sleeves, and then we're just going to add our button and we will be finished. Okay, so I'm just coming up in the end here. Now you can decide at this point if you just want to be done with this edging, but I want to go one more round, so I'm just doing my last 3. We're in the last corner here, so I'm just going to chain 1 single crochet to the beginning here, chain up 3, but this time I'm not going to turn my work. I'm still going to work continuously in the circle, or in the round. So make 2 double crochets in this same space. Okay, and now you know how to do this part. We've been doing this with the whole hexagon, so just make your 3 double crochets into each space all the way around. And so if you want to do 2 rounds, you can do that. If you didn't, you could just chain 2, detach, and fasten off. So that's up to you. Or you can make this thicker. You can go 3, 4, 5 rounds if you want. It's totally up to you. But I'm just going to do these 2 rounds, and I'm going to fasten off. I'm sure you know by now how to fasten off, so I'm just going to fasten off camera, and then I'll sew in my end, and then we can do the sleeves, and then add the button, and we'll be done. Alright, so this is what it looks like. I have the whole trim on this side done. I did this sleeve off camera, so I'll show you how to do this sleeve on camera, and then you can just do that other one yourself. So, make your slip knot. We're basically just doing this sleeve exactly how we did these first few, or these last rounds, these extra rounds. So going underneath the armpit on this side, inserting our hook anywhere in one of the spaces between the 3 double crochet groupings, yarn over, pull through and through to attach, and then chain up 3, 1, 2, 3, that counts as our first double crochet, and put 2 more double crochet in there, and then just put 3 double crochet in each space all the way around, then slip stitch to the beginning, chain up 3, and do it all over again. So make 2 rounds of this color around the edging. Unless you made extra rounds on your main color and you don't want to do this trim part, just disregard this section. And I'll just meet you up when we are all finished. We're going to embellish this with a button. You can embellish with, you know, brooches or bows or buttons or anything really. So we'll embellish this at the end, and then we'll be all finished. Alright, so I'm just slip stitching to the beginning here and fastening off. Alright, now I just gotta sew in this end here. And like I said, just make sure that you do this up to the other sleeve as well. I just did that one off camera, so because it's exactly the same as this one. Okay, and just put that through some stitches, stretch that out. Make sure you're sewing in all of your ends as you work so that you don't have to do it all at once in the end. It's just less of a headache to deal with. Okay, there we go. And our cardigan is finished. So now we have to sew on our button, and you can sew on your button, you know, or buttons if you want more than one, you know, down the center, or you can just do one, which I'm gonna do just one, and I'm gonna put it right at the top here. So I found these fancy buttons online at the shop called Would Be Fancy on Etsy. So there's nice wooden buttons, real wood, cut and sanded. So you should check out that shop. But you want to make sure that you have a button the size that will fit through these granny stitches. So that looks like it'll fit right through there. So, well, I want to put it on this side. So we want to make sure that it can go through there, and it can, so awesome. So now I'm just going to put my button right about here, and we need to use some yarn. There's some scrap here. Okay, so to sew on your button, just go from the inside and back around and do it again. Okay. Then you can tie your knot. It's very simple how to tie a button. Just tie a knot You can tie like 2 or 3 knots just to secure it. Then take your yarn, okay, I'm going to actually cut this shorter just so I can sew it in. You just want to sew it behind a few stitches. So that it's hidden. There we go. And then cut that. And there you have your button. Okay, I'm just gonna have the one button. I think I like it just like that. So you can have, you know, as many buttons as you want. But there we have it. There's our cardigan. So it's so big I can't barely get it all in the camera, but you can see that we have the pockets and the long sleeves, and the length of it is as long as we want. The hood, so our head is going to go there. So thank you so much for watching and making this fabulous piece with me today. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to like or favorite this video. Subscribe to my channel here on YouTube as well so you can get updates on when I put new videos out. Make sure to join my Facebook page. And if you make this, please send me a picture or post it to the Facebook. I seriously want to see your work. This is such a fabulous piece. Make sure to check out my website and the links in the description of this video. I'll have the pattern linked, written pattern, the video, all this stuff where you need to go is all going to be in the description of this video. Make sure if you post a picture to hashtag YARNutopia, and if you put it on Instagram, hashtag YARNutopia so I can see it. Make sure it's a public photo so I can see it. But thank you so much for watching. Happy hooking!